On our 10th anniversary, I revealed an incredible secret that turned divorce papers into hope. Amid the white picket fences of their quaint Indiana neighborhood, Sarah stared at the clock, heart racing. It was almost time to celebrate a decade with Mike, yet all she felt was despair. They were buried in debt, their small family business struggling, and the kids were too lively. Tensions simmered, and the air felt thick with unspoken resentment. With divorce papers cooling on the kitchen counter, the evening held the promise of joy, but it felt more like a weight they were about to bear. On a whim, and perhaps in an effort to escape the chaos, Sarah ventured into the attic, nearly tripping over old boxes. Dust danced in the dim light, and a layer of nostalgia wrapped around her. Suddenly, she stumbled upon a forgotten box labeled Dad. Inside, she found a treasure trove of letters from Mike's late father, each one a glimpse into a world of bravery, dreams, and family love. As she read the words, recollections of a life devoted to art and resilience flooded her heart. Mike's father wrote of courage in the face of fears, and the beauty of pursuing dreams no matter the obstacles. Tears prickled Sarah's eyes. If only Mike could remember those same dreams. As she absorbed the letters, urgency surged within her. This was it, a chance for revival. With a shaky breath, she confronted Mike that evening, clutching the letters tightly as if they were the lifeline of their marriage. "Look," she implored, her voice trembling, "your dad believed in you. He treasured your talent, and so do I." Mike's eyes widened, reflecting a swirl of emotions: surprise, regret, and longing. Memories of paint-splattered canvases and laughter resurfaced, dreams he had long shoved aside for the grind of adult life. Their hearts connected in that moment, awakening the dreams they buried under the pressures of bills and childrearing. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With fresh resolve, they began to talk no longer just about bills and bickering but about dreams, creativity, and what kind of legacy they wanted for their kids. The suffocating thought of divorce faded slightly as they found solace not only in their shared history, but in their aspirations as a couple. They decided to challenge themselves to create together, to participate in a local art show, channeling hope and creativity back into their lives. On the night of the event, a nervous excitement lit up the room. Mike stood beside his artwork pieces filled with passion, a window into his soul. He felt the weight of vulnerability wash over him as attendees admired his work, showcasing his long-lost talent. With Sarah and the kids cheering him on, he felt uplifted, the strength of love encircling him. Just as Mike began to embrace this renewed sense of purpose, a figure from the shadows stepped forward, an unexpected visitor from his past. Sarah's heart raced. Would this person tear apart the fragile piece they built? The clock ticked as uncertainties loomed, and every moment pulsed with emotion. Would they emerge stronger together or drift apart into the chasms of unresolved feelings? Mike's heart skipped a beat when he recognized the familiar face emerging from the crowd. It was Lisa, his old college friend with an infectious laugh and a passion for painting that had once inspired him. She had left town years ago, pursuing her career in a big city while he had settled down, trading his brushes for a calculator. But here she was, and all those complex feelings twisted in his gut: nostalgia, excitement, and a hint of guilt. "Mike," she called out, her eyes sparkling with delight. "I heard you were showing tonight. Your work is incredible." The moment felt heavy. Sarah stood nearby, an uncertain smile on her face as she weighed the situation. She had sensed the connection between Mike and Lisa back in college. She tried to push those old insecurities aside, focusing on Mike's current glow of pride. "Thank you, Lisa," Mike said, his voice steady but laced with emotion. "It's been a long time since I picked up a brush." Lisa stepped closer, a warmth radiating from her. "I always knew you had it in you. You just needed to believe. You're amazing, Mike. Don't forget that." As if on cue, the lively chatter of the crowd washed over them, mingling with the soft music playing in the background. Mike glanced at Sarah, and he saw a flicker of discomfort in her eyes. It was fleeting, but it was there. "Sarah, this is Lisa, an old friend from college. Mike introduced her with a nervous smile. Nice to meet you, Sarah said, extending her hand while smiling despite the tension eating at her. I love the way you've inspired Mike. It's been a while, Lisa said. I saw from social media that you've got a beautiful family. I hope things are going well? The words felt like a slap in the face for Sarah. It pinched her heart to be confronted with another life, another path. She wanted this moment to belong to them, not to a shadow of Mike's past. Just trying to keep things afloat, Sarah replied, forcing cheer into her voice. You must have amazing stories from the city. As they conversed, Mike's eyes darted between both women, trying to navigate the conversation. He felt the warmth of Lisa's admiration and the strain in Sarah's forced smiles. Every joke shared, each laugh exchanged felt like it was pulling them apart, testing the fragile thread of connection they had just rebuilt. Suddenly, Lisa turned serious, her gaze piercing through the small talk. Mike, are you happy? Really happy? The question hung in the air like a weight, threatening to crush them all. In that instant, Mike's heart beat faster. He could see the shadows of his past lurking in the corner of the gallery, and the promise of his renewed passion lighting his future. But how could he answer? The truth felt stuck in his throat. Before he could respond, Sarah stepped forward, her voice firm yet kind. What matters now is that we're trying to be happy. Together. Lisa nodded, sensing the shift. She took a step back and plastered a bright smile on her face. That's what matters most. Cheers to new beginnings. But as Lisa turned to mingle with others, Sarah's gaze met Mike's. Frustration bubbled just beneath the surface of her calm exterior. Were they truly on the right path? Or was this newly rekindled passion just a facade to conceal deeper cracks in their marriage? With apprehension tightening in her chest, she turned away, focusing on the artwork instead. But the turmoil inside her intensified. What if Mike's art and perhaps even their rekindled love was not enough to protect them from the shadows of the past? As the night wound down and laughter filled the air, one question resonated in Sarah's heart. Could they truly build something lasting? Or was this just a beautiful moment before another storm? The clock was ticking, and they both felt it, an urgency that was taking hold of their dreams and the stability of their family. The gallery buzzed with life, but for Sarah the laughter seemed distant. She stepped away from the crowd, trying to gather her thoughts. Every smile painted on her face felt like a mask, the vibrant colors on the walls blurred. Not from the brightness of the art, but from the swirling emotions inside her. Mike was talking to Lisa, and for a brief moment Sarah felt like a ghost in their conversation. She wanted to be excited for him, proud of his work, but a long-buried insecurity reared its head. What had she done? Was her determination to keep their family together leading her down a path of unhappiness? Taking a deep breath, she leaned her head against the cool wall, seeking a sliver of clarity. The memories of their early days came rushing back, the late-night talks about dreams, the paint-splattered kitchen, the laughter that echoed in every corner of their home. Yet, amidst those memories, one thought pierced through. Was the reality of their life now what they had envisioned? Hey, Mike's voice snapped her out of her reverie. He stood there, his expression a mix of concern and confusion. Are you okay? Just a little overwhelmed, she admitted, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. I think Lisa's energy is a lot. He nodded, glancing toward Lisa, who was sparkling in conversation with another guest. I know she can be intense, Mike said, his brow furrowed. But it's so good to see her again. She's probably right about me needing to believe in myself more. Or maybe about us needing to believe in us, Sarah replied, her voice quieter now. The weight of her words hung between them. Mike searched her eyes, a realization dawning on him. You're worried about us, aren't you? There it was. The truth that had been gnawing at her insides. I don't want to lose what we have, Sarah confessed, her voice wavering. But sometimes I feel like we're worlds apart. Before he could respond, Lisa reappeared, her presence engulfing the moment. Hey! Just wanted to say it was so great to see you both. I really believe in you, Mike. Your work deserves recognition. Thanks, Lisa, Mike said, though his eyes never left Sarah's. As Lisa drifted back into the throng, Sarah felt a wave of emotions fall over her: excitement for Mike, jealousy of Lisa, and sadness over her own feelings of inadequacy. Do you think she's right? She asked, her voice suddenly small. About what? Mike replied, frowning slightly. About you needing to believe in yourself. And maybe us needing to believe in this believe in what? The life we've built? I love you, Sarah. His voice was a soft, desperate plea. I love you too. But love isn't always enough, is it? Silence enveloped them, heavy and unresolved. The gallery filled with laughter, but for Sarah and Mike, it felt as though they were standing on different shores, the distance echoed by the growing crowd around them. Just then, Sarah noticed a small art piece tucked away in a corner, its colors vibrant, its strokes bold. It wasn't anything grand, but it felt like a reflection of her heart, so close to being ignited, but in danger of being washed away by larger waves. Mike, she whispered, her heart racing. What do we need to do? How do we get back to us? His gaze faltered between her and the departing crowd. The question lingered, heavy with possibility. The moment felt pivotal, like standing on the edge of a cliff overlooking the depths of their shared past. And just as a sense of determination sparked in Sarah, a thought pulled at her mind. What secrets remained unshared between them? Maybe it's time to reveal something, Mike said, his eyes narrowing with newfound purpose. Something about us? Something that could change everything. With her heart pounding, Sarah felt an urge to leap into the unknown. Could this revelation really bring them back together? Or would it shatter everything they'd built? The clock was ticking again, but this time it was counting down to an unexpected revelation. What awaited them on the other side? The space around them faded, the noise of the gallery retreating into a dull hum. Mike's expression shifted, his eyes intense with emotion. I've been thinking a lot about us lately, about everything we've been through. And there's something I've kept to myself for far too long. Sarah's heart raced at his words. What do you mean? She could feel a tension building, a mixture of fear and hope tightening in her chest. Mike ran a hand through his hair, a nervous gesture she recognized all too well. When we first started out, everything felt so vibrant, like we were co-creating our worlds. But over the years, with responsibilities piling up, I've let those dreams dim, and I haven't been honest about it. I haven't been honest with myself. You mean about your art? Sarah asked, her voice soft but steady. Not just the art. It's more than that. I lost my confidence in my work, but it's deeper than that, Sarah. I lost confidence in us, in our dreams. I was so focused on providing and being the good husband that I forgot to nurture the creativity that made me. Me. Her heart sank slightly. She understood the pressures that weighed on him. Balancing expectations with his passion had always been part of their lives. But we can change that. We can reignite things together. I know, but I've also realized something else, Mike continued, shifting his gaze to the vibrant artwork in the corner. I don't want to just survive this life with you, Sarah. I want to thrive together. I want to explore not only what I can create but what we can build as a couple. She felt a flicker of something spark inside. What are you saying? There's a part of me I've kept from you. It's not just about believing in myself. It's about believing in us fully, every messy, beautiful part of it. I want to take risks, go back to the essence of what we used to talk about. Creating together, being vulnerable together. Sarah blinked, her emotions colliding, fears mixed with an unexpected exhilaration. And what's holding you back? What do we need to do? I need to admit that I've been afraid of the future. And it's made me lock myself away, afraid that if I put my heart out there I might fail. But today, while I saw Lisa's encouragement, I realized something huge. What's that? She isn't just right about me needing self-belief. She believes in what we can be together. We can embrace everything we've let slip away. If we start sharing what scares us, starting with this moment, it could be our turning point. But what if Sarah hesitated, internal battles raging? What if we start to take those risks and it still doesn't work? Mike stepped closer, capturing her gaze. That's the beauty of it. Doesn't have to be perfect. What we need is to be real. Be vulnerable. Maybe even fail together. It's not the destination that matters but the journey, right? She felt warmth radiate from her chest. Hope flickered within, but it was fragile. Are we really willing to risk everything? What if this revelation leads better? And what if it crumbles all we've built? I don't know, he admitted, an unguarded honesty making her heartbeat quicken. But I feel, and I hope you do too, that it's time we dared to find out. Together. As his words hung in the air, vibrant with possibility, a familiar tune drifted through the crowd. A song they both liked, a memory shared. In that moment, Sarah closed her eyes, inviting the moment to wash over her. "Let us do it," she whispered finally, inhaling deeply. "Let us dare to be real. Together." And as their hands intertwined, she couldn't help but wonder what other truths awaited. What had Mike not shared yet? Would it take them further down this path to new heights, or would it hold the potential to break them apart? The clock ticked on, and with it hung the question that remained. What was he holding back now, and how would it change everything? The music swelled, wrapping around them like an embrace. Sarah felt the world shift, the weight of uncertainty still heavy but somehow lighter now that they had acknowledged it. She squeezed Mike's hand, grounding herself in the moment. It was as if the gallery, filled with muted conversations and laughter, faded into a distant dream, leaving only the two of them suspended in their own bubble. "Let us promise to keep the conversation going," Sarah said, her words firm yet hopeful. "We have to be brave. Day by day share what we feel, what we create. If we do that, maybe we can find our way back." Mike nodded slowly, a soft smile breaking through the anxious tension. "Absolutely. It's time for honesty, even when it's uncomfortable. We can even set up a creative date. Once a week, just us, no distractions. We'll create, we'll share, and explore those parts of ourselves we've hidden." "A creative date," she echoed, her heart fluttering at the idea. "That sounds amazing. What do you have in mind?" "I don't know. Art, music, writing, whatever sparks us," he said, his eyes brightening with enthusiasm. "We could even revisit places we used to love. Reconnect with those memories." The thought ignited a warmth within Sarah. "I like that. Maybe our first date back could be at that old diner by the lake? Do you remember our late-night talks there?" Mike grinned. "Of course. You and your endless coffee refills." The laughter that bubbled between them was contagious, breaking down the walls that had slowly crept up over the years. Together they envisioned a fresh start, where creativity could flourish and fears could be shared, not just the struggles, but the triumphs too. As they talked, shadows of doubt danced around the edges of her thoughts. "But what if I'm not enough? What if you find that inspiration and I can't keep up?" She could see Mike's brow furrow in consideration. "It's not about keeping up, Sarah. It's about supporting each other. We're partners in this journey." His voice softened. "Every step matters, no matter how small. It's not a race." His sincerity disarmed her. She absorbed his words, letting them weave their way into her fears. "Okay," she breathed. "Then it's settled. Let us meet that fear head-on. Let us give ourselves permission to fail in our creations and in our vulnerability." Mike seemed to digest her words, and for a moment, his gaze shifted away, scanning the crowd. "You know, it's not just about art. I realized today that we've been too focused on the grind instead of celebrating our love. When was the last time we just enjoyed the moment?" She looked around, noticing couples chatting animatedly, others lost in their artwork, all sharing a sense of freedom she craved. "Maybe we need to take a leap," she suggested playfully. "Dance in public just for the thrill of it? Show the world we're not afraid to be silly?" Mike chuckled, the tension easing further from his shoulders. "You're on. But the moment we start, you'll owe me a dance-off." Laughter filled the space again, growing louder, fuller. They were rekindling not just their relationship but a connection that had dulled over time. As the evening wore on, they exchanged stories from their youth, hopes they had shelved, and dreams that were too tempting to ignore. But as they wove through memories, Mike's expression grew serious again. "Sarah," he said cautiously, "there's still something I haven't admitted." Her stomach nodded with intrigue. "What is it?" "I've been thinking about my art more than you know. It's not just about fear of failing. I think I need to explore something new. A different medium that I've never tried." She felt the air charge with uncertainty. "What are you saying, Mike?" He took a deep breath. "I might want to dive into performance art. Something risky. Am I ready for that? Performance art?" Sarah blinked, absorbing the shock. "Is this what you were holding back?" He nodded slowly, gauging her reaction. "But I'm not sure how you'll feel about it. It's uncharted territory for both of us." Sarah could feel her pulse quicken. She wanted to encourage him to support this newfound bravery, but the leap into something so bold was daunting. "Let us talk about it," she urged, uncertain of where this revelation was leading. As their conversation deepened into uncharted waters, Sarah felt both a spark of excitement and the looming question. What did Mike truly want to reveal about this new phase? Would it strengthen their bond? Or was this the starting point of something entirely unpredictable? The clock ticked on, and with every second, the air thickened with possibilities. What lay ahead? Hidden in the depths of his ambition. The silence wrapped around them, filled with unspoken words and possibilities. Sarah searched Mike's face, trying to decipher the thoughts swirling behind his warm brown eyes. The energy of the gallery pulsed around them, but they were cocooned in their own world, tethered by a shared sense of discovery. "Mike," she finally said, her voice steady but tinged with vulnerability, "performance art, it's such a bold move. I can feel how passionate you are about it." He smiled faintly, but there was apprehension in his gaze. "I don't want to leave you behind, you know? What if I find something that resonates and you don't like where I go?" "Hey," she replied, squeezing his hand tighter, "we've always been open about our dreams. This could be thrilling for both of us." A flicker of excitement danced in her chest. "It's like me picking up that old guitar again. I haven't played in years, but maybe it's time," he finished, his eyes lighting up. "Yes, we could inspire each other," she continued, warming to the idea. "Picture it. You on stage, pouring your heart out through a character or a theme, and me, strumming along to your rhythm. Can you imagine?" He chuckled softly, the tension in his shoulders easing. "Are we starting an art revolution? Why not?" She laughed, and suddenly the idea of performance art didn't seem so daunting. It could be a beautiful, shared exploration. But as the moment settled, shadows still loomed. "Mike, what has stopped you before? Why now?" He took a deep breath, looking beyond her into the crowded room. "It's always been fear, I guess. Fear of judgment, of failure. But tonight something feels different. I want to embrace that fear. I want to dive into it." Something deep within Sarah resonated with that statement. "We're both scared, Mike. Just like my painting classes in college, so terrified every time I faced an empty canvas." She smiled softly, her heart lightening. But every stroke led to something new and unexpected. "Exactly." His voice had the weight of conviction. "What if we committed to pushing each other into these unknowns? What if this is the beginning of something incredible?" It took a moment for Sarah to let the idea settle. Would they be able to not only navigate their fears, but also grow closer through such vulnerability? Thoughts raced through her mind, and a shiver of excitement trickled down her spine. It could be beautiful, like an unfolding story where each chapter reveals more of ourselves. Mike held her gaze, and for a heartbeat, they both knew they were at a crossroads. Would they leap together, ready to dive into the chaos of creativity? The prospect thrilled her, yet the uncertainty gnawed at her heart. "Okay, let us take that first step, one creative date at a time," she suggested, her voice shaking slightly. "Deal," he agreed, excitement glinting in his eyes. "But I want you to promise me something." "What?" "If you ever feel overwhelmed, we pause. No pressure. We figure it out together." His sincerity calmed the fluttering in her stomach. "Promise. And you have to do the same for me." But just as relief washed over her, a dark thought interrupted the moment. What if the new paths they chose sent them spiraling apart instead of bringing them closer together? "Speaking of new beginnings," Mike said, breaking the silence, "how does this sound for our first creative night? I sign up for that performance art class while you grab your old guitar?" Her excitement dimmed a little at the thought of diving in alone, but she took a deep breath to stoke the flames of courage. "And maybe I could write a song about it, one that captures the essence of us. Just a first step to explore." Their faces lit with renewed purpose. "So we'll use this as our launch pad," Mike declared. "Get ready, because this journey might be wild." "Wild is good," she replied, a playful smirk curling her lips. But deep inside the question lingered. Would their willingness to embrace the unknown bind them together or tear them apart? As they stepped away from the art gallery and back into the pulsating heartbeat of the city, a feeling washed over Sarah. That was both exhilarating and terrifying. With every step forward, they inched closer to a new chapter, but the question remained. What secrets would this creative journey reveal about themselves and their relationship that they had yet to confront? The next morning, the sun poured through Sarah's window, casting golden rays that danced across her room. She lay there for a moment, caught between sleep and reality, but in her heart, a new energy hummed, a thrill of possibilities waiting to unfold. "Today we start something," she whispered to the quiet room, as if speaking to her old guitar propped against the wall. It had been years since she had strummed its strings, but the soft wood and worn-out strings felt almost like an old friend. After a quick breakfast, she picked up the guitar, feeling the coolness of its body resonate against her palms. As she strummed a few chords, memories rushed back, the joys, the heartaches, the laughter. Just as she found her rhythm, the doorbell rang, startling her. "Mike!" she exclaimed, her heart racing as she hurried to the door. Seeing him standing there, his hair tousled, and an excitable grin on his face made her day instantly better. "Ready for our adventure?" he asked, bouncing on his heels. "Absolutely," she replied, weightlifting her guitar like a banner. "I've missed this feeling." They decided to kick things off in the park, a vibrant space bursting with life. The sun played peekaboo through the trees as they found a quiet spot beneath a sprawling oak. With laughter mingling in the air, Mike set up a small space for his performance art workshop. "First things first," he said, spreading out a canvas and a few props. "We're going to play with our fears." "Sounds intriguing," she said, curious yet slightly apprehensive. He handed her a brush and winked. "Let us start with a simple question. What scares you the most about creating?" As she thought, Sarah felt a stir of emotions. What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? I've always wanted to express myself, but? He prompted, a knowing smile on his face. But what if no one cares? The words escaped her lips, heavy with vulnerability. Mike's expression shifted, serious yet encouraging. But what if they do? What if your song touches someone? You never know who might need to hear it. She met his gaze, captivated by his passion. "Okay, let us flip this around. What scares you about performance art?" He considered it, his brow furrowing. "Honestly, it's exposing myself, opening my creative heart to everyone. What if they don't understand?" They shared a moment of silence, both wrestling with their fears. The park buzzed with children laughing and dogs barking, but all they could hear was the beating of their own hearts. "Let us promise to be brave," Sarah finally said, squeezing his hand. "No matter how vulnerable it makes us feel, we will push forward." He nodded, determination shining in his eyes. They spent the afternoon creating. She painted a mural onto the canvas while Mike drew from a deep well of imagination, composing motions and expressions. Gradually, they began to lose themselves in the moment, intertwined within their artistic frenzy. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm glow that wrapped around them like a comforting embrace. As Sarah finished her piece, she stepped back to admire it. The colors reflected the fierce emotions she'd felt over the years, a whirlwind of hope, love, and uncertainty. "What do you think?" she called to Mike, her heart racing. His eyes widened, sparkling with admiration. "It's beautiful. You captured a lot of depth in there." "No, this is just the beginning," she corrected, a twinge of fear surfacing again. "What if I can't write that song? What if I fail?" "We're just getting started," he said, confidence pouring from his voice. "And remember, we're doing this together. We create, we learn, and we grow. That's what matters." The sunset washed the world in hues of orange and pink, a breathtaking backdrop for their moment of creation. "I guess we are both diving into the unknown," Sarah said with a soft smile. "Together," Mike affirmed. But as night fell, shadows crept in once again, and doubts clawed at the corners of Sarah's mind. If they went too far, could they truly navigate through vulnerabilities and emerge together? Or would their paths diverge into different worlds they couldn't understand? With that uncertainty nagging at her heart, Sarah strummed her guitar softly, letting the music flow. In each note lurked the question: would this artistic journey strengthen their bond or drive an irreparable wedge between them? As the stars twinkled above, she realized that only time would reveal the true colors of their shared adventure. The following day dawned bright, yet Sarah felt a weight pressing down on her. The canvas from yesterday was still resting against the tree, a vivid reminder of their commitment to artistry. But the thrill of creation from the previous afternoon was overshadowed by a growing fear, a sense that the journey ahead might unravel everything she had built. In the soft morning light, she found herself strumming her guitar again, the familiar chord setting a comforting backdrop to her thoughts. Mike was supposed to arrive shortly for their next rendezvous, and while anticipation buzzed through her veins, it was quickly quenched by the echo of doubt. What if today was the day, she faltered. Just then, a soft knock on the door interrupted her spiraling thoughts. It was Mike, his enthusiasm palpable as he stepped into the room. "Ready for round two?" he asked, eyes sparkling. Yeah, just a bit nervous, she admitted, biting her lip. Nervous is good. It means we're stepping out of our comfort zones, Mike beamed, raising his arms as if to embrace the very challenge they faced. They decided to return to the park, the canvas now serving as a symbol of their shared determination. Today's theme was about facing insecurities, the very thing that held them back from expressing their creativity. Let us start with a warm-up, Mike suggested. Write a word that describes your biggest fear. With the sun overhead and a light breeze rustling the leaves, Sarah felt the tension inch away. She picked up a brush and wrote inadequacy on the canvas. As soon as the word flowed from her hand, a shiver of emotion coursed through her. Mike, seeing her struggle, shared his own word, judgment. As he painted it beside hers, she glimpsed the vulnerability mirrored in his gaze. Why are we scared of judgment? She pondered aloud. It's like putting all of yourself out there and waiting for someone to decide if it's worth their time. But what if we redefine it? He replied, his excitement bubbling over. What if we turn judgment into an acceptance of growth? Their conversation ignited a creative fire within Sarah. The two of them began to work on transforming their fears into shapes and colors, losing themselves in the emerging artwork. Each brush stroke became a release, their insecurities morphing into vibrant bursts that danced across the canvas. As they painted, the park grew busier. Couples strolled by and children played nearby, and for the first time, Sarah felt like they were part of something bigger. It was as if everyone was aware of the magic that sparked between them. I feel alive, she laughed, her heart racing along with the music resonating in her soul. Mike beamed back at her, his joy infectious. We're not just creating art. We're making a statement. This is us reclaiming what makes us unique and beautiful. But just as exhilaration soared, a new shadow flickered. A couple sitting nearby had turned their heads towards them, whispering and pointing. For a fleeting moment, Sarah felt exposed, as if their smiles and laughter had suddenly become the source of judgment. Her heart sank. What if they think it's stupid? Let us not think about them, Mike said firmly, his eyes locking onto hers. This is for us. The tension erupted within her. But what if they're right? What if we look foolish? Mike stepped closer, eyes blazing. You won't find your voice if you let others silence it. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about expression. Every word felt like a lifeline, pulling her back from the brink of self-doubt. With a deep breath, she picked up her guitar and began to play. Each chord resonated against her fears, an aria of defiance in the face of uncertainty. But as she sang, doubts echoed again in her mind. Could this creative journey truly change everything? Would they find the strength to explore what lay ahead or lose themselves to the fears they fought so hard to confront? As they continued to create, Sarah knew they were at a crossroads. In merely hours, their artistic escapade had become a battleground of emotion. And just when she thought she understood the path, another question lingered. Would this leap of faith lead them to artistic triumph? Or would it unveil deeper conflicts they couldn't yet comprehend? As Sarah's fingers danced along the strings, the melodies began to weave a thread through the park, enchanting those around her. For a moment, she was both free and anchored, held tight by the music's embrace and the energy of creation. Yet, the whispers of the couple nearby lingered in her mind, clinging like ivy, threatening to choke her newfound confidence. Mike, sensing the shift in her spirit, leaned closer. You're doing great. Just focus on the feeling. Nothing else matters. His voice was sincere, often the calm in her storm. With his encouragement pushing her forward, she poured her heart into the song, transforming her doubts into a powerful crescendo. Each note breathed life into her fears, and she began to feel lighter, the shadows from earlier lifting little by little as the last chord faded. Applause erupted around them. The couple who had whispered moments ago now stood clapping, their expressions of surprise transformed into admiration. Sarah blinked, her heart swelling. They liked it, she whispered, disbelief settling in. See, they're moved. We're onto something here, Mike exclaimed, his enthusiasm palpable. But as the crowd dispersed, his excitement prompted another wave of doubt in Sarah. What if it was just a moment? What if we can't do it again? She faltered, swallowing the lump in her throat. Anxiety threatened to seep back in. Mike took her hands, his grip steady. Every artist faces that fear. It's what we do with it that counts. We have to create even if we're scared. Even if we fail. His resolve ignited something inside her. A fire that wanted to burn brightly and not be extinguished by what-ifs. Okay, she breathed in determination, let us do more. Together they moved to the canvas, new brushstrokes waiting to be filled with the vibrancy of their emotions. They combined their techniques, danced around each other, and laughed as they splashed paint across the fabric, a riot of colors symbolizing their challenges. Yet, just when Sarah thought the storm had passed, a pang of realization hit. What if this isn't just a roadblock in my art? What if it's affecting everything? The words escaped before she could catch them. What do you mean? Mike paused, his brow furrowing with concern. I mean, my life, my relationships, my future. What if this fear spreads? What if these moments are warnings? She stepped back, staring at their evolving masterpiece, uncertainty weaving through her thoughts. They're not warnings. They're opportunities, he insisted, his sincerity cutting through her doubts. Each time we paint, we practice facing our truths. Maybe art can help you see where to go next. His words resonated deeply within her. Could they really reshape how she approached everything? Could the messy canvases reflect more than insecurities? As they painted together, a quiet understanding settled between them. The park around them transformed into a world of possibility, each person a fleeting glimpse of encouragement, urging them on. Just then, something caught Sarah's eye, a vibrant, fabric-like creature weaving through the bushes nearby, a zealous artist painting with his heart spilling out. She marveled at the way his unconventional methods drew in onlookers. Maybe I'm not the only one, she mused. But before she could delve deeper into this revelation, a loud crash broke her concentration. A child playfully ran and bumped against their easel, knocking it down. Paint splattered everywhere, but laughter erupted as everyone turned to see the scene unfold, and that moment, Sarah's heart raced not just with worry, but with excitement. This unpredictable journey might lead to unexpected beauty. What now? Mike queried, eyeing the mess and the growing commotion. Sarah bit her lip, an idea forming. What if we embrace this chaos? What if we create from what we didn't plan? Mike grinned, the spark returning to his eyes. Now we're talking. As they moved amidst the laughter and remnants of paint, Sarah grasped the truth. Transformation often came through chaos. But would she be brave enough to confront the risks of this new, artistic path? And as uncertainty simmered in the air, another question arose: could this chaotic beginning become the backdrop of a new chapter in both her art and her life? As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting golden and purple hues across the sky, Sarah and Mike stood before the splattered canvas, now a wild tapestry of unexpected colors. The laughter of children and the rustling of leaves mingled with their own hopeful joy. Art, it seemed, had a way of pulling them closer, weaving their fears and dreams into something tangible and beautiful. I can't believe how freeing this is, Sarah exclaimed, feeling exhilarated. Every stroke, every mess created an electric buzz inside her. It was as if they had taken a step back to the essence of who they were, the creative spirits they had lost in the monotony of life. Look at that. Mike pointed with a blend of excitement and energy, noting how the colors seemed to dance together. It's not perfect, but it's real. Just like us. Sarah felt warmth spread in her chest, recognizing that this moment was about more than just art. It was about reclaiming their connection, embracing not just the successes but the chaotic beauty of their journey together. As the canvases continued to fill with splashes of paint, Mike turned to her, sincerity etched on his face. Sarah, this is just the beginning. I want to dive deeper into performance art, and I want you with me. His earnestness tugged at her heart. Can we really do this? Create together, explore our dreams, no matter where they lead. Absolutely. Let us set the stage for our family too, he suggested eagerly. Let us show the kids that passion and creativity are essential parts of life. That's how we'll inspire them. A rush of realization hit her. If they could reclaim their art, nurture their passions, they would not only mend the fractures in their marriage, but also build a legacy of love and creativity. I love that, she exclaimed, the exhilaration bubbling within. Let us inspire them to spread their wings. As twilight blanketed the park, they gathered their supplies and made their way home, spirits soaring like fireflies dancing in the night. Days turned into weeks. Each creative date became a cornerstone of their revitalized relationship. They drew, painted, and even tried acting together. With every encounter, They chipped away at their fears and built a foundation of trust and vulnerability. It was exhilarating, healing, and sometimes scary, but they faced it all as a team. One evening, sitting on their back porch beneath a starlit sky, Sarah took a deep breath. "Mike, I have to ask, are we really okay? I mean, beyond our projects and art?" He looked at her, a gentle smile softening his face. "We're more than okay. We're alive. We've embraced the chaos and found our way back to each other. We've revealed parts of ourselves that were hidden." Her heart fluttered. "Feel it too. So much joy and freedom, like we're dancing in life and not just going through the motions." "Exactly. And don't forget, we've brought the kids into it. They're already exploring their creativity." He chuckled, recalling the colorful finger paintings scattered around their home. "Right. And we're going to foster that spirit. Our family is a canvas of love," she said, beaming as they sat together. The weight of past worries lessened. The divorce papers from that fateful anniversary felt like a distant memory, a fear that turned into a catalyst for change. "We turned it around, didn't we?" Mike mused. "What was once our breaking point became our breakthrough." Sarah nodded, eyes glistening with emotion. "It's incredible to think about. We transformed fear into hope, resentment into creativity. I never thought divorce papers would lead us here. In a way, we needed to shake things up." The chaos brought clarity. Under the gentle night, they both smiled, lost in the moment of understanding and love. As days turned into months, their creative journey expanded. They hosted art nights at home, invited friends over to share their passions, and even put together a community art display. Looking around at their life, Sarah felt her heart swell. They had constructed something beautiful together from what almost broke them apart. Here's to many more years of creating, loving, and embracing all life's colors, she toasted one evening, raising a glass of sparkling cider. "To us," Mike replied, raising his own. And as they clinked their glasses, they knew that whatever the future held, they were ready to face it together, with hearts wide open. Capturing the beauty in their journey meant accepting the unknown, a thrilling adventure that promised continual growth and connection. So, when you watch your relationships transform, don't hesitate. Revel in every single moment and grab that chance to build a beautiful narrative out of your fears and dreams. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help us reach more hearts. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Your voice matters. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to do it now.